Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and having a great day so far. Today we are going back to basics, just a simple root touch-up using henna and indigo to get a deep dark color on my grays. I've talked about this before, but I've had a lot of new friends asking lately, how do you cover grays without ending up with that reddish orange tone? So today we are doing the two-step process and I will walk you through how to cover stubborn grays with a rich natural dark color, because if you just have few grays, the one-step henna process can give you gorgeous natural looking highlights, but once the grays start taking over, that soft reddish hue becomes red roots with brownish length. Not always the vibe, but that's where indigo comes in. If you really want full coverage and control, the two-step method, henna first and then indigo, is your best bet. That is what I'm doing today to get super dark roots. But you can also mix henna and indigo together in different ratios in the second step to get different shades, from auburn to deep brunette and even soft brown. The more indigo you add, the deeper the color. The more henna you add, the warmer the tone. So before we get started on today's video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel down below, hit that thumbs up, and with all of that said, let's get into it. Alright, now let's mix the henna for the first step. Today I'm keeping it super simple. I usually use coffee or tea and herbs to deepen the stain, but since today I'll be using indigo later, I don't need anything extra. The indigo will give me the darkness I'm going for. So here's what I'm using: 100% pure henna, aloe vera powder, and warm distilled water. So to the henna, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of aloe vera powder to help with moisture and reduce the dryness. Now pour the water in gradually, stirring it as you go. Different henna powders absorb liquid differently, so there is no exact amount. Just add slowly and mix until you get a thick mashed potato-like texture. Not too runny, because once it is too thin, there is no fixing it unless you add more henna. And I like using distilled water because it is mineral-free, which makes it gentler on the hair. Harder water, especially with calcium and magnesium, can cause buildup, dryness, and even mess with the dye results. Distilled water helps everything stay consistent and smooth. This texture looks good to me now, so I'm just going to cover it up and let it sit for like 2 to 3 hours for dye release. Okay, it's been 3 hours and my henna is ready to go. You will know yours is ready when the top layer looks darker or browner than the bottom. Sometimes you'll even see little drops of reddish orange liquid on the surface. That means the dye has released. So now give it a good stir. Any lumps should mix out easily at this point. And the texture should be nice and creamy, smooth and spreadable. If it feels too thick, you can add a tiny bit of warm water to loosen it. But mine looks just right. So let's get started on applying it. Now before you start applying the henna, always make sure your hair is clean and completely free of a product. I clarify twice, no conditioner, because it can act as a barrier and stop the dye from sticking properly. Trust me, henna and indigo are super picky. They want your hair to be squeaky clean, no distractions. So I washed my hair last night because I prefer to work on dry hair, but you can definitely wash and apply on damp hair if that's easier for you. And wear gloves unless you want beautifully stained hands. And don't forget to protect your clothes. Today I am trying out this short sleeved cape I found because I usually make a bit of a mess. So if this keeps the henna off my shirt, I'm all for it. I thought about getting the full-length cape, but honestly, I feel like that one is better if you have someone else applying it for you. But since I'm doing this by myself, I feel like this one is going to give me more freedom to move around. And when it comes to applying the henna, I always recommend you section your hair and you work in small sections to make it easier. And since today I'm only focusing on my roots, I'm just going to bring the space down a few inches so it blends better with the rest of my hair. forgot to mention, if you are worried about staining your forehead or ears, you can apply a bit of oil along the hairline. Coconut oil or olive both work great. I personally just stopped doing that because honestly my skin doesn't stain that much and most of my gray hair are in the front, so I don't want the oil blocking the color on those baby hairs. Alright, I'm all done applying. Now I'm covering my hair with 2 plastic caps to trap heat and keep the henna moist. Then I threw on a beanie too, just to keep everything warm. You want to leave it on your hair for at least 2 hours, but 4 hours is ideal. Some people leave it on for like 6 hours or even overnight, but to be honest, the color doesn't get that much deeper after a certain point. That's why I usually aim for around 4 hours. So I'll check back with you when it's time to rinse it. Alright, I left the henna on my hair for the full 4 hours and now it is time to rinse it out. I'm using just water for this step, no shampoo, no conditioner. Normally I would use a co-wash to help cleanse and soften my hair after henna, but if you're planning to apply indigo afterward, skip it. Conditioner can block the indigo from bonding properly with your hair. So for now, plain water is all you need to rinse out the henna. Now on to step 2, indigo. For this part I'm using only indigo and I also recommend adding about a teaspoon of salt. It helps open up the hair shafts just a little bit, which improves how well the indigo bonds, especially on stubborn grays. I'm also adding a little aloe vera powder to keep my hair moisturized, and I'm mixing everything with warm distilled water. No acidic ingredients here because indigo is picky and acidic liquids like lemon juice or apple cider vinegar can mess with the color. And just like with henna, you add your water slowly until you get a thick yogurt-like paste. And the great thing about indigo, no waiting for dye release. Once it is mixed, it is ready to go. So I'm applying it right away. Alright, here's what my hair looks like after the first step. Super bright orange, but that's exactly what we want. Think of henna as your primer, and now we're adding the color coat. And I'm focusing on the roots again, applying indigo right where I did the henna and dragging it down just a little to help it blend. And I'm doing this step the next day, which is totally fine. You can apply indigo right after rinsing out the henna or anytime within 72 hours for best results. And since you've already seen me apply the henna, I'll speed this part up. It is the same process, just with indigo this time. Different color, same messy gloves, same shoulder workout. Alright, we are all done here. I just piled my hair up on top of my head and cover it, same as we did with the henna. You want to keep the paste warm and moist while it processes. I will leave it on for a couple of hours, which should be more than enough time to give me a rich, even color. After exactly 2 hours, I rinsed out the indigo just with water. No conditioner, no oils. At this stage, it is really important to let the color settle in. So avoid shampooing your hair for at least 24 hours. That gives the dye time to oxidize and deepen fully. And once that is done, you are good to go. And now let me show you how it turned out. Okay, so I just took the camera outside to give you guys a better look at the color in natural light, and honestly I am so happy with how it turned out. You can really see the richness and dimension, especially over the grays. It is always so rewarding to see the final result after all the steps. Even though it's a bit of a process, I genuinely enjoy this treatment every time. I know it's messy and it takes so much time, but the final results are worth it. The shine, the coverage, and the fact that it is all done with natural ingredients and zero chemicals is always so fascinating to me. Going full indigo on the second step gave me much deeper color, almost black shade. Definitely much darker than what I usually get with the one-step process. But that's the beauty of it. Like I said earlier, you can add henna to the second step and adjust the ratio to get your perfect shade of brown. I personally experimented with a few mixes over time. I will make sure to link those videos in the description box below so you can explore the different outcomes. But that is it for this video, guys. I hope that you all enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please thumbs it up, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.